Hello everyone, welcome to From the Star Wars Home Video Library. I'm your host Nathan P. Butler, and yes, finally, after all of the many months of people griping and complaining about my need to finally go HD, and my waiting around to finally get a new computer before that happened, I finally said, screw it. I'm probably still going to get a new laptop sometime in the near future, but for now, I've picked up a somewhat cheap a little Logitech HD webcam so that the video quality from here on out will hopefully be much better. No more stuttering, unless it's me stuttering as I speak. No more stuttering visually, so that hopefully you get a better quality presentation this time around. Doesn't mean we're going to go back and revisit old things in this new HD format, but it does mean a better video quality as we go ahead with this series and any other series that may be being produced this way. So, that being said, this is a sort of supplemental episode of the show, and usually a supplemental episode we get a separate, unusual number, like a point something number, and get slid into the feed alongside something else. This time, though, it's supplemental in its information, but it covers things that we've seen in multiple episodes in the past. And because of that, I don't want to give it a supplemental episode number because it would then probably confuse things because it would have to take place maybe after one of those things was mentioned, maybe after two of those things were mentioned, and just wouldn't quite jive with the playlist structure on YouTube for those who are watching it in order after the fact. So what we want to cover this time is a repackaging instance, something that was talked about back when we were talking about the Clone Wars cartoon series on home video, which I didn't have the ability to show you right then and there because I didn't own the repackages of those materials at the time. So for some background here, the Clone Wars, of course, premiered in theaters as a film in 2008. It then picked up with the television series starting its first season in 2008 on Cartoon Network, which carried on into 2009. Then, late in 2009, you got the first home video release of the Clone Wars cartoon series from television as opposed to the film. When they did that, they gave that release something a little special. This is what they gave us on DVD for Season 1, the Clone Wars The Complete Season 1. It's sort of a book-type shape here, not a regular case. You open it up, and you've got your two discs over here. You have a bound-in book with all kinds of cool sketches and whatnot, right? And then as you go along, you get to see, for instance, kind of hard doing it from that reverse angle there. As you go along, you'll eventually wind up seeing near the end the listings of what's on each disc, and then behind it, you've got the other two discs. It's a 4-disc DVD release. There is a Blu-ray release from the same time. Notice just the slight size difference here because one's Blu-ray, one's DVD. Similar though, right? The book style, they call it a digibook. One disc on the one side, same little booklet type thing bound in, 2 discs on the other because the Blu-rays tend to be 3 discs instead of 4 for a season of Clone Wars. So that gave us that kind of cool digibook look when that was released on home video in 2009. In 2010, they did something very similar with a slight alteration for Season 2, which had aired in 2009 and 2010, of course, on Cartoon Network. We have again a digibook for Complete Season 2. This is the DVD version of it. That sort of book type thing going on here, only this time with 2 discs on one side, 2 discs on the other. It's not a bound-in book per se. This doesn't open, but it's got that booklet that slides into it, and the booklet itself, kind of like the other, has the concept art and whatnot, and then as you go through it, eventually you get to your listings of what's on the discs. Accompanying that was a Blu-ray release, again a little bit smaller, but same concept, digibook, 1 on one side, 2 on the other, and inside the little thing, you slip the booklet out, same material, just slightly smaller size, of course, because we're looking at Blu-ray size here. Now, after that, though, after Season 2 in 2010, they decided to streamline the packaging, probably because of the costs involved, quite frankly, with something quite as elaborate as what we saw with Season 1 and Season 2. And for Season 3, and 4, and 5, and Season 6, aka The Lost Missions, all on DVD, and for Seasons 3, 4, 5, and then 6, aka The Lost Missions on Blu-ray, they went with something more of sort of a little slipcase of cardboard a standard, in the case of the Blu-rays, Blu-ray case that you would then open up and see your discs. In the case of seasons that had a little insert, you would open it up. The insert is inside and usually folds out as a poster or folds out sideways. And for the DVDs, it was a similar thing. You open it up, standard DVD case, pop the sucker open, your discs are on with little flappy things, and then here's your little thing out to the side you can pull out that opens up like a booklet, tells you what's in them, or folds out into a poster, depending on which one you're looking at. So much more, you could say, sort of flimsy, much thinner little insert. It was just basically a poster type thing on one side with information usually about the discs on the back, and standard cases. But you did have the little cardboard slipcase over top of them. Now what this meant, though, was that now you didn't have a matching set, right? You had the ones in the standard cases for the later seasons, but those earlier ones had the cool little digibook type things going on, which granted look a little weird on a shelf and are thicker than a standard DVD or Blu-ray case is, so they take up more space on a shelf. And around 2011, right around the same time in October, actually I think it was right before, but right around the same time in September, October of 2011, they decided they were just going to re-release seasons 1 and 2 in matching packaging to what was happening with 3. That meant that if you didn't get 1 and 2 right when they first came out, if you waited till after season 3 was already out and then picked up seasons 1 and 2, the likelihood was that unless it was some backstock sitting on the shelf somewhere, now you'd be able to have all of your seasons matching 1 through what is now 6. The thing about it, of course, was that a lot of people had already bought these or were waiting for a complete set. So now, sort of like those 2008 DVD boxed sets of the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy, because less people bought them at the time, there's now less of them available on the secondary market. They become a little bit tougher to come by these days, these odd repackagings of the materials, which granted, because of some changes that happened to the inserts, are actually, I think, sort of substandard versions of the materials. But let's take a look here at what this episode's about. Let's take a look at these repackages. With season 1, here's your DVD repackage. All right, complete season 1. Your information there on the back. This is information that would have been on a little piece of a thick paper that was sort of glued or adhered to the back of the digibook version that you would then peel off when you actually kept it at home. You pop this sucker open. You got your discs, again, flapping, same discs as before, same labels and everything. And then instead of the book that's built in, you got your insert here. I just had mine in backwards. There's your cover that looks like the little book insert. Cool stuff on the back here. But if you open it up, with the exception of the Plo Cool thing, all it is information on the episodes. There's nothing in there as far as the cool concept art and whatnot that you get in that booklet with the digibook. So it's essentially the digibook is giving you more non-video content for your buck if you were to find that version of it. For season 1 on Blu-ray, it was very much the same, right? Standard Blu-ray case, of course. Oh, standard back. Again, same kind of thing. Pop that sucker open. There's your discs. And then you've got your little pull-out insert, folds out essentially the same way. Again, no concept art or anything, just the Plo Koon or Plo Cool logo, the little cover logo of what was the booklet, and then your information about the individual seasons. Looks very much like what you get with seasons 3 through 6, or I guess 3 through 5, because 6 doesn't even have an insert. Season 2, very much the same thing. Season 2 DVD, right? Complete season 2. Information on the back, again, same thing. It was on that heavier cardboard that was just adhered to the back of the digibook. See, I can say it right once. Now I can say it right every other time. Pop this sucker open. Same type of deal. There's your discs attached. And rather than the pull-out booklet from the top of the digibook, that's what's the cover on that booklet. But then you actually unfold this sucker. And aside from the one Zillow Beast image here, everything else is just information about the contents of the discs with your episode images there on the back. So again, the better value for your money if you're looking for extras that are in physical form as opposed to on video, because the discs are the exact same as far as their contents go, your best bet is to look for the digibook version, because these slim case versions have these slimmed down, no production materials type of inserts for them. Now, you may notice something different on this one that I'm going to show you here for the Blu-ray for Season 2. We'll get to what it is here in just a second. But here is your Blu-ray for Season 2. Again, same information here. Pull up our slipcase. Open it up. This one, actually, my copy, it's broken down here where the little arm or whatever it is should connect. So just ignore that momentarily. Your disc, other discs and whatnot. I'll probably switch this case at some point. And then your insert, very much like the other, it just folds out. And your only extra image other than the cover image is your Zillow Beast image. But wait. There was an extra step on that one. I had to take a cardboard slipcase off of it to get to the inside. It is my belief, based on my experience seeing these in stores, that all of these releases actually had a slipcase to them, just like Seasons 3, 4, 5, and 6, when they were originally released in stores. I got all of mine off of the secondary market, mainly off of eBay. And at this point, it is extremely difficult to find these repackaged versions at all on eBay. And in looking around and picking these up, I never ran into a copy on eBay until this one that actually had the slipcase to it. It looks like what tended to happen was that people would buy these in these slim cases and I guess throw out the little slip covers, because I'm presuming they are supposed to be there. Otherwise, why would there be one on Season 2, but not on Season 1 in either case, or the Season 2 DVD that I've got? So mine are essentially just missing the slip cases. But I want to give you a chance to see what these look like so you had a sense of how the packaging did change, and how the content in terms of bonus material, at least in terms of those cool book inserts, right, with the concept art and everything, how that changed as they moved to streamline things, of course, after the 2009 and 2010 releases into the 2011 and beyond era for what we're getting with the Clone Wars. It'll be interesting to see here in just a few months, I guess 3 months, as of the time that I'm recording this, exactly what form it will take when we finally see the Season 1 set of Star Wars Rebels on Blu-ray and DVD, which actually just got its first official StarWars.com announcement the morning that I'm recording this. So at this point, still kind of up in the air, but I look forward to looking at that release, doing some research into it, seeing what all's included, and of course bringing you an episode here of From the Star Wars Home Video Library as we move into Rebels. However, that's not apropos, so to speak, for this episode, so I will simply say, as always, thank you for watching, and may the Force be with the home video viewers. Now in HD! We have here the DVD copy. Again, so that shiny, glossy thing, the digibook. Shit! Sometimes they don't all want to stay in there. Let's try that again. Maybe tilting it a different way.